Hello, I'm Dennis. When I installed openSUSE the Tumbleweed, I had an option that said minimal desktop. I said I was going to check that out, and I am. And we're going to start it right now. I got a VirtualBox set up with openSUSE in it. I've given it 4 gigabytes of RAM, 2 cores of my processor, enabled the EFI. Let's get started here. So it defaults to the installation. We're going to go ahead and just go through this as quickly as possible here. I'll probably fast forward through the installation because the installation will be the same as previous. The installer, the Yast installer, is actually very nice. Here, when you get to this screen, you can hit the escape button and you'll see what it's doing. Right now it's loading basic drivers, Xorg and probably Ethernet and whatever drivers that it's reaching out and seeing that we need. It's going to load those. Escape, get me back into that. It said basic drivers, okay. Next step, it started hardware detection. If a driver is not working for you, try booting with broke modules equals driver underscore the name. It checked, then we got the IDE, generic, activating USB devices. It's found the desktop drivers. It's opening up right now the internet. It found Ethernet. And it assigned us an IP. This is step 1 of 6. You'll see it's still in the progress bars there. I like watching what's happening here. My internet here sometimes just cuts off, or other times it just goes down real slow. We just don't know. We've got a brand new modem from the internet provider company, and they said that would take care of it, and it's not. So we're going to end up getting back with them and seeing what we can do about improving this, because to be honest, this internet service sucks. It's good when it works. See about the arrow or the progress bars. They are moving. We're on 3 of 6, 4 of 6, 5 of 6. It was optional and it skipped it. 100% on the 6. Okay. It says to use the selected repository, a machine boot image is needed. Download it and restart. I'm going to say yes. And provided my internet's working correct, it should go pretty quickly. 3 days ago, where I'm living now, it got 26 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty chilly, especially for this area. We didn't get a hard freeze, but we did get down to about 26 that night. Today, I'm walking around in shorts and a short sleeve shirt. You just never know. 2020 is just refusing to let go. Okay, come on, download it. Must be pretty good size. Either that or my internet's slowing down again. Just run a speed test and it said 18 meg download. That's not very good. It should be 150 meg download. See, it is making some progress. This caught my attention when I was installing this right here, the net installer before, but I selected the XFCE, of course, but it caught my attention because it said a minimal desktop. I thought, well, that's kind of what a lot of people search for, is a minimal desktop, and then that they can tweak, install whatever programs they deem necessary, not what somebody else deems necessary. By the way, I just hit the escape button again so we could see what was happening. Right now it's back to loading basic drivers again. That was okay. This time it should go by a little bit faster because it's already done this stuff. Starting hardware detection. That went by pretty quick. Activating USB devices. Drivers E1000X. Escape. Yeah, escape takes you back to the progress bars again. We get out of that by pushing the escape button again. Now it's looking for an internet connection. Or it's looking to connect. It sees the connection. Now it's trying to connect to it. Sending a DHCP request to ENP0S3, etc. It did it. We got an IP address. Loading the installation system. And it is going a little faster than it did the first time. I'm not really sure what's that all about because this is a fresh download. But it is a rolling release. So they released the ISO and then they're going to have updates. So this is part of what we're doing right now. But the flip side, everything should be up to date when we get finished. Minimal desktop. And there's not a lot of information on it. I looked through on the web page and you don't see a lot of, even through the installation guide, you don't see really a lot of information on it. So it piqued my curiosity. You know, most of the time I'm looking for a minimal desktop and then I can add whatever I want to it instead of accepting whatever somebody else thought I needed and then having to uninstall it or just live with it being there, taking up room on my hard drive. All right, looks like we're getting somewhere. Workspace 1. And we get a real bright screen. It's detecting network drivers, updating repository, 100%, downloading openSUSE.org, some file with a large string of numbers and letters. So it's looking at all the devices on my machine and then making sure that we got the drivers for those. And if it couldn't find a driver, then it would probably tell us. Read routing configuration. Welcome. Okay. First thing we do is we get our keyboard test. And that passed. This is the license agreement. They're not asking you to do anything. There's nothing on it. Click next. And if I remember right, the next screen is the one that will have the option to select our desktop, which would be KDE, GNOME, XFC. Additional, this system has an active network connection. Additional software is available online. Activate online repositories now. Yes. This is a net installer. I'm going to leave everything default. Say OK. It's adding the main repository non, OSS, add repository main, repository OSS, and then main update repository. And so far, everything is normal as far as the installation goes. So like I said, I'm probably going to speed through this until I get to the part that interests me, minimal desktop environment. Which I got a laptop that I'm going to be using openSUSE on, and if this works out right here, this is what I'll be installing on it rather than the typical XFCE that I elected to install on it already. Okay, so here it is. We got KDE Plasma, got GNOME, XFCE, generic desktop, server, and transactional server. Here I'm going to select generic desktop, the graphical system with reduced package set, intended as a base for a customized software selection. That sounds ideal. That's what got my attention. So I'm going to click next, and then it should read through that. And we're going to partition. So just like in the other two videos, I'm going to start with the existing partition, which is basically nothing. I'm going to say edit it, custom size, 512 capital M for megabytes, click next. This is going to be EFI boot partition, click next. That's going to be a fat. All that looks right, click next. Left click on the free space there, custom size. We're going to say 6 gigabytes. This will be for a swap. There we go. It says it's from my point, but it's not. Left click on the partition, we're going to add a partition. We're going to customize it. If I get my mouse right, we're going to give it 22 gigs. This will be the operating system. Next, it's going to mount it with under root. And it's going to, by default, it's going to select butter FS or better FS or B3 FS. So all that looks good. I'm going to say next. All right, now we're going to add a partition. And we'll leave the maximum 27, which is the remainder, and this will be our data drive. And that's going to be file system XFS. All that's good. All we're good. I'm going to say accept the changes. Next. Synchronize with the NTP server. Time protocol. All right, pick Eastern. I'm going to change that to Central. Say next. Going to give it my name. Give it your name. You can use mine if you like. And we're not going to automatically log in. We're not going to skip user creation. Say next. The password is too simple. It is too short. You have to use only lowercase letters for the password. The password should have at least 5 characters. Really? Use this password? Yes. Thank you. Okay. So here, once it gets to evaluating our package selection, we'll have a chance to click on software, and you can add some selections here if you chose. We can even add the desktop, the XFCE desktop, or any of these other GNOME, LHTP, LHDE, Enlightenment, Mate. It's got the font, H system, basic. Already set up multimedia, graphics, games. I doubt it'll come through. Server functions, don't really need any of those. Development, don't need any of those. But by all means, if you do, this is the time to get them. Or you can install them after the fact. Containers, don't really need any of that. Or micro operating system. I'm good here, and I'm going to click OK, and that's going to evaluate whatever I selected. We did add multimedia there. We added graphics and games. And the rest of this is going to look good. I'll say install. Alright, so it's going to destroy my partitions and create new ones. And that there will be no existing data from the previous drive available. And the installation is going. So I'm going to stop the video now. I'll pause the video, and when I come back, we'll be through. Let me just wait just a second here. I've already covered the web page pretty good on the other two videos. So I don't really feel the need to go back and rehash it, other than to tell you that it's openSUSE.org. Get that full screen here. Make sure I told you right, that's correct, openSUSE.org. And installation is now on the way. So yeah, go back to full screen. It's installed, it's already, apparently already has partitioned and formatted and mounted the disk. Now it says it's installing packages. However, there we go. Our full package will be 2.79 gigabytes. And a total of a little over, almost 1,300 packages. And it's on the way, so I'm going to stop the video. And I'll be back when it gets finished. If I'm not back when it gets finished, it'll just reboot. Which is okay. So I'm going to Control F to get out of full screen. And I'm going to pause and I'll be back. I'm going to come back just a few minutes early. I found this web page. It does say that it at least mentions the generic desktop, but it doesn't really say much about it. And let's see, let me see if I can find it here. Back up, I passed it. Here, if you list the generic desktop. For a desktop installation, choose between desktop with KDE, GNOME, or generic desktop. You will be able to choose between XFCE, LXDE, Mate, and others later in the installation process by selecting software in the installation settings dialog. I just did that. At that time, I could have selected either one of these to go along with my generic desktop. Setting up a server. See, that's all it says. And then the next thing, it's in the partition. So it doesn't really say a whole lot about the generic desktop, which is too bad. I mean, I don't know what we're going to get. We'll just have to find out. It goes through the same processes we just did. And I'll put this link in the video as a title, I'm sure. And it goes in great detail here, all the different packages you can select, different choices, the repositories, the boot up options. I mean, you can change a lot of stuff. Let's grab that, move on up to the top there. OpenSUSE.org, documentation, leap, startup, HTML, book, OpenSUSE, startup, /art, OpenSUSE, install, quick.html. Alright, let me minimize that and see where we're at here. Okay, we'll pause the video again. Be back. I'm back and it says it's about through. Right here it says 4 minutes. Now it jumped to 3:02. It's going to be wrapping it up pretty quick. It's only got 26 packages left to install. If this is like the other two installs, when it gets finished, you'll be presented with a screen that it will say it's going to reboot. And I was also looking, and you can install any of those other desktops after the fact. We could have installed them then, but we can install them after the fact just as easily. It says time 0, so let's see what happens here. 10 packages. Hard to believe it's no time because it's going to take some time. 3, 2, 1, 0 packages. Installing the remaining packages. So we're real close. Let me get back in full screen here, right? Control F. And I have discovered that if you stare at their green right here, not this green, but this green, if you stare at it long enough, it starts to take on a blue hue. See, I told you green's not all that bad. It's close to blue. Roy G. Bill. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So green is close to blue, or blue is close to green. Depending on which way you're going, which way you're headed. All right, the system will reboot now. So I could stop it or say OK. If I click OK, let's see if it'll reboot. It's actually going to reboot. Nice. There's our grub. That was actually very quick. See how fast it loads up the first time. We're just getting a generic desktop. I'm guessing a Windows manager of some sort. One that we can amend, add to, append, augment. All those words meaning just to add to it. openSUSE or openSUSE. Be sure to let me know in the notes how you pronounce it. If you pronounce it at all. Okay, there's our login. Let me see before we do that. IceWM. Now we got the Ice Window Manager. Okay, we'll log in. And we do not have the, wonder does Control-Alt-T get me a, yep. Let's see, Xrandr. We do have it. Xrandr space -S 1680 by 1050 works for me. There we go. Alright, we'll bring that terminal back up real quick. -H SDA3 is 3.3 gigabytes. Fairly small. Let's see what kind of free memory we got. We're only using 220 megs at this point. That's unique. Is HTOP installed? Nope. How about top? Always installed. 222. Very nice. See what we got here. On the right side, we have a calendar, time. We have 0 mail messengers. And that's the CPU. RAM. 6 gigabytes free. Memory. Nice. Internet. those are pretty nice. This is IceWM, I think it said. Desktop apps. Graphics, we got 2D graphics. We got the GIMP under Internet. Web browser, we have Firefox. We have Tiger VNC for remote desktop settings. Screensaver, Yast. System, documentation, welcome screen. We didn't get presented with that. And Yast software. Gonna ask me for my password. Alright. One of the reasons why you don't have to auto refresh this is because it does it itself when it's loading. And you can see we're in a Windows Manager. Let's see. Under View, Patterns. There we go. That's how easy it will be to install XFCE desktop or any of these other desktops. And you can see that it automatically selects HP, a lot of the goodies, package update indicator. Yep. A lot of the stuff. Lunar, XDG user. We'll go ahead and accept. We're going to say, well, I'm going to cancel. Was there anything in there that I wanted that was not checked? Sorry. Ferrari, paralleling, not even sure what that is. And Grandpa, HP, that would be for printers. ICT web browser. Patterns, micro OS, base system. Shotwell. Huh. Battery plug-in, I don't need. If I was on a laptop, I definitely want that. Date time plug-in, is that what that said? Date time. Yeah, I want that for sure. Dev tools. There's FS guard, mount, net load, XF screen shooter. Get that on my own. System load plug-in. So you get a lot of stuff here that you could. The weather plug-in. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and accept. And we're going to say continue. And it's installing. If I reboot now, that screen that I showed you up at the very beginning here when I logged in where it said IceWM, now it should say IceWM and XFCE. But we won't know that until we get through here. But that was fairly easy. Let's look at their menu here. If I right click on it, do I get any options? Actually, no. How about in the taskbar? Tiles, hide all tiling managers. That's cool. IceWM. Alright. Back in their menu real quick here. Desktop apps. That's where I got this. The Yast software, toolbar, external web browser, SUSE applications, screensaver, graphics, GIMP. And we just cover that. Windows. Workspaces. We got 2 programs running. We got help manual, IceWM, sound. Wonder what that is. That's sound. Using also. I don't see a volume thing. That would be something that I'll have to overcome to get to. Just have to read this. I'll read this on my own time, not yours. Figure out how to get the sound working. That was under Windows. No, it was under Help. Focus. Preferences. Focus, quick switch. So this is all to do with the Windows Manager, and I am not familiar with any window managers. I mean, I can read mailbox status, net status, taskbar show tray. If you didn't want any of those things that are ticked, you could just click on them and they'd disappear. Or you could add whatever's there, show. Same here. This is all how to line up the windows. I believe there's some key bindings. Key windows range in. Key sys. Workspaces. Scalar. String. Save modifications. I hadn't done anything. Themes. By default, it's ZP Acre. We're going to say crystal blue. Oh, check that out. Very nice. Will this let me minimize? Yeah. Yeah, I like that theme. Right click, get me a menu as well. It does. So you got quite a few selections there. Preferences. No settings panel. All right, so this is basically our system panel right here. You go through here and make your checks. You can add products. You could actually use this and it would have opened up the Yast installer there, and we could have selected XFCE software manager. We can add repositories and software, printer and scanner, date and time. Cool. If you move somewhere and carrying your laptop and you want to change the time, it's very easy. Just click right here. Network settings, a partitioner, partition hard disk, including RAID, LVM, and encrypted file systems. Services manager. That's very nice. So you could probably drop it down even more than the 220 megs it was using. Sysconf editor, host names, NTP configuration, remote, firewall, which is enabled by default, user and group management. So yeah, this is your systems settings. What I'd call the control panel. Hardware. Configure my sound card. It's not configured. Let's say edit. Quick automatic setup. Leave that alone, just like it is. See what it does. And it's there. Okay, so I'm going to say okay. Saving the sound card settings. Starting sound volume settings. Oh, with that new theme, we can see these in action down there. Bootloader, date and time, system, network services, all the virtualization. Vendor driver. That is install a driver for a vendor specific. More than likely, I'm going to use an NVIDIA card as an example, but something like that, where you would need a driver for it. They make it real easy to get one. Support, alternative, systemd journal. Let me close out of this. See where our installer's at. It's still downloading. 387 of 535 packages, and it looks like my internet just stopped. No, it's downloading LibreOffice. That must have been ticked. There it is right there. Ooh, we had nothing. Yeah, I like this. Let's see, what else do we have? Anything like Task Manager? Probably not. Sys. Dialog, arrange, collapse. Nope. Manual, IceWM. Pro Alt T. Did not have H-top, but it did have top. I wonder why this is open if I can say sudo zipper H-top. Oh, install. I'll be real surprised. Nope, can't get a lock. So you're talking about a minimal system right here, nothing in it except for what you want to put in it, what I want to put in it. This is what's going on my laptop. I'm taking XFCE off of it, or I'm going to install this, and then during the install, I'll also select XFCE, so I'll have my option to which one I want to log into. but I will definitely be using this more. This is real nice. Network, remote access, web browser, Firefox, desktop, Yast. Where was our welcome? I saw that somewhere. Welcome. Just going to see if it has the same options as the other two. It does. So you got your README, your documentation, your support, contribute, and build openSUSE. You can get the software, and I'm sure this will open up. There we got IceWM again. openSUSE Tumbleweed. And this is the first time the browser is going to open, so it's going to try to open up the Mozilla stuff. Software opensuse.org/explore. Here you'll just, if it opens, you'll be able to just type in a software that you're looking for. Here we go. I'm going to just look for Nomax. I won't try to install it. Nomax is a picture viewer, photograph viewer, editor of sorts. Let's see what it returns. There we go. You just click on view. Pick your operating system. In this case, it would be openSUSE. We could just one click install it, but I'm not going to do that while that other deal is running. But very simple. Opens up this website. Mark this in your favorites. You won't have to look at the welcome again. But if you do lose it, you can open the welcome, click on that link. That'll open this up. Search for whatever package that you might need. Now, they did not have DVD styler in the regular repositories. So on my laptop, I had to come here and I punched in DVD styler, and right there it is. And this is a great DVD authoring tool. I'm going to close out of that. If it's a tiling window manager, or maybe it's not a tiling window manager. I was wondering why it didn't split the screen. Maybe that's something you have to do here with these key bindings. Show the desktop, Windows list menu, Xterm for a terminal, and this would be the browser. This was our, I want to say workstation. This is our workspace one. Well, I'm going to get out of full screen here, right Control F. This looks like it's going to take a minute. I'm going to pause the video again, and I'll be back when this is through, and I'm going to reboot, and we'll see if we can get into XFCE. I like IceWM. Like I said, this is going on my laptop. Okay, so it got finished. It says it's installed 535 packages. It also installed the ALSA plugins, Pulse Audio, Apache Commons, Avahi, Blueberry, and some more. Click on more and it will show you more. For now, let's see. There we go. Oh, I got to get back in full screen. Click finished. We are going to reboot, log out. That's not what I want to do. I want to restart. Here we go. Reboot. I just was impatient. Well, I'm excited. I want to get best of both worlds. I like Ice Windows Manager. For a minute there, it looked like it was booting back into the ISO, which I haven't taken out yet. Being UEFI normally is smart enough to recognize it's booting to the hard drive. Legacy, most definitely you have to remove it. It'll boot to it every time if you have it in your BIOS. So yeah, I'm excited here. Going to see about IceWM, using that on my laptop. Sleepy Eye Events told me once to use a Windows Manager on a laptop, that it made more sense for screen real estate. Okay, so right here now, I should be able to, we could go back into the IceWM, or we'll select the XFCE session, give it my password, because that should stay the same. We may even see the little mouse. Nope, we're going to see their screen. But we're going to see what menu. Whisker menu. Give it a second to finish loading here. We got a clock, notifications. We got a volume icon with volume. Absolutely. And we got our welcome screen. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Settings. We'll change this for me later. 16A, go ahead and get this done. Apply, keep it, close. And this is it. I've got XF, so you can see there's the ISO right there. It's probably not mounted, but it's still there. So, I mean, this is our XFCE desktop. Now, if I just log out, I should be able to select the Ice Window Manager, log back in, and it did not remember my settings. Control-Alt-P will get me a terminal. Xrandr -S 1680 by 1050. Oh, that's what happened. Get me another terminal here. H-top X. Let's see. Xrandr -S 1680 by 1050. Enter. Why do they keep doing that? Okay, we got a problem. Xrandr space -S 6 numbers like 1680. Oh. Sudo Xrandr -S 1680 by 1050. Try that. And open the display. Xrandr -S 1680 by 1050. I'm doing it real slow because maybe that'll change it. Now that we do have, and we're back in IceWM, Ice Window Manager. Let me say sudo zipper install GNOME-system monitor. Got it spelled right. Asked me did I want to continue, and I did have it spelled right. Now, see, this is in Windows or IceWM again, and this is all new to me, and I'll still be able to install my programs that I want to use and will use. If I miss my guess here, this GNOME System Monitor will show. There it is. Let's see, it should be here. And maybe, not sure where, applications. Terminal settings. Now we got a lot more in our menu now that I installed system monitor. Now that I installed XFCE, it's got that to draw from. So 560 megabytes, and I just installed something. Not bad. If I just sit here, that'll probably go down a little bit. I'm impressed. I would say, you know, if you're going to run openSUSE, I would try this first. I would, especially if you're interested in a window manager. IceWM apparently is very beginning user friendly, noob friendly. I am new to Windows managers, so I'm kind of fascinated by this. So I think I'm gonna run this. I am gonna put this on the laptop, and I'm gonna install it, and I'm gonna use the IceWM until I can't use it no more. I am going to install XFCE so that I can go back and forth just to see if there's anything different that I can install on one that I can't get to work on the other, which I don't think that's going to happen. openSUSE, generic desktop, gives you Ice Windows Manager. Very nice. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on another video. I'm going to shut this one down, and I'm going to say goodbye. back in there. Now I can say bye.